Hey everybody, welcome to Tuesday Night Show and Share. We do this every Tuesday night at Knox Makers. We come and show projects in progress, projects we're failing at and we want help with, and things we finished to good effect. Without further ado, we will we'll bring Bill up to talk about Scrimshaw. Is he in here? All right, we're going to move him to the bottom of the list. We're going to bring up Eric Evers with an easy weighted pen.
Hello, Internet. Easy weighted pen. So I've been doing this for decades, basically. I buy cheap pens and I buy cheap sunglasses because I leave them everywhere and I don't want to leave a real nice pen, but I want a pen that I enjoy using. So I get these cheap pens and I get these oftentimes free hangers and I cut them up and I load them. So they have a nice weight that I enjoy and I'm not afraid to leave them wherever I want or wherever I don't want. So, easy weighted pen. And because we don't have a full room today, I brought 12. Take one. Questions? Yes. You do have to straighten them. Yes. You have to straighten and measure. It's about 3.5 inch segments of the wire, and usually, depending on the thickness of the coat hanger, it'll be 3 or 4 or sometimes 2 segments. Yes, sir.
Looks like on those, are you removing insulation off that hanger?
This particular one was the first hanger that had insulation on it. Yes, I did have to strip this. This is the first time in 20 years that I've had to. The old ones, they were just metal.
What was your trick for removing the insulation?
What was the trick for?
Removing the insulation.
2 pliers.
And brute steel.
This is again a very easy project. A young person could do this. There's no.
What about old people?
As a 60-year-old, I have to say that it is a good project for old people also. Anything else? Enjoy your pens.
Now, Bill, are you here? You're going to talk about Scrimshaw, which is one of my favorite things. I'm excited about this.
This is a very self-serving show and share because I'm teaching a class on Scrimshaw on Saturday, and no one signed up yet. And that's so disappointing to a teacher to have no one sign up for your class. So I'm going to show you Scrimshaw of something similar to what you might be able to do on Saturday if you come and hang out. And so this is a piece of deer antler. Another piece of deer antler. Another piece of deer antler. This one's upside down. They're all upside down. And so this is a piece of elephant ivory. It's actually a piano key. So pre-1972, which was the embargo when you couldn't have ivory, piano keys were made from elephant ivory. And so if you find a really old piano, go peel the keys off and you can play with ivory. And then what we're going to use on Saturday is a Taga, T-A-G-U-A, nuts. They're from Brazil. They cut them in slices. And it's called vegetable ivory. It has very similar properties to ivory itself. So if you want to carve it, you can actually carve it. Or we can do scrimshaw on it. So we'll use a very sharp tool and we'll just kind of etch lines. Then you smear ink all over it, India ink. It makes a big black puddle. It dries, and we use steel wool to polish it. Then everything where that scratch was at absorbs that black ink and stays, and then the other black goes away and disappears. So we've got all kinds of different things that we can do. I mean, if you look online, if you use some of the books that I'll bring on Saturday, there are designs like crazy all over everywhere. And we'll be able to draw. I tend to just draw directly on the piece of whatever I'm going to scrimshaw. But we'll have some white paper and some graphite paper, so you can draw your design on a piece of paper, put the graphite paper under it, trace on that so it goes on to the piece that you're going to work on, and then we can work it through there. Some of these pieces I've sprayed some polyurethane to put a protectant sealant on it, but really it's bone. Some people actually use cow bone, sheep bone. They'll use bone to do this stuff. If we're going to sand any of the, like I've got some chunks of deer antler that I'll bring in that I'll let you borrow. No, let you have. We're not going to borrow it because I don't want it back. But you will be able to use some deer antler. But if you do that, we've got to sand it really good. So we'll have to wear a mask, which we have masks out in the PPE closet. And we'll be able to get that going and teach you how to do that. So it's really, you can be as complex as you want, or we can be very simplistic and very simple, but still come up with a really neat design, a really interesting design. You can see the nuts, the Taga nuts. They've got holes drilled in it. So if you put one of the little rings in it, you can make it a little necklace. And so we've got a lot of options available to us as to what we can do with these. It's not just something you make and throw in a drawer and you never ever see it again. So I found that young children go nuts over anything that you give them. So these are really good because, oh, what am I going to do with that? Find some young kid. They'll go nuts over it. They'll think it's great. Wes. Actually, I do these little wooden owls that I make, and I'll hand them out to older people in wheelchairs, and yes, they go crazy over it. And so, Scrimshaw is at 9:30. Well, let me check the events calendar first, because I'm also teaching tomorrow or Saturday bluebird house making. And it's designed for beginner woodworkers, people who have never really done woodworking before. So I'm doing two different things on Saturday. And so Scrimshaw is at 9:30, Bluebird's at 1. Both have lots of tickets, so feel free to sign up. I will provide the wood for the Bluebird, and we will provide everything for the Scrimshaw as well. So nobody has to bring anything other than your body.
What's the history of the word scrimshaw?
Okay. Etching in bone, etching in stuff has been around for centuries, forever. The word scrimshaw was kind of coined around the whalers in the 1850s, late 1700s. The whaling ships would go out for up to 3 years at a time, 5 years at a time. And so when you're whaling and you're hunting whales, if you're hunting the whale, it's boring because you got the people driving the boat and you're just a worker and you're just bored to tears. And so they would use whale teeth, whale bone, the baleen, which is the humpback, are part of the filtering of the krill and all that. And so they would trade up the Eskimos for walrus ivory. And so these guys would sit on the ship for days on end working up these black and white drawings, if you will, but it was done on bone and ivory. And instead of using India ink, they would take the black soot out of a lamp and they'd take that out and then they would use shark skin as their sanding method. Because shark skin is super coarse and very rough, and that's what they'd use to kind of rough off or take off the black soot off of that. If you find a real whale's tooth that has been scrimshawed, you're talking $25,000 to $50,000. Yeah, they're not real popular. John F. Kennedy was a collector of scrimshaw. And so the word scrimshaw really is associated with the whalers. And so a lot of people think that's when it began. That's not really true, because I talked to a guy making powder horns, and he was doing powder horns and putting scenes on powder horns. He goes, this is etching. This has been around forever. And he's absolutely right. But the word itself, scrimshaw, was really, it's attributed to the whaling people that did the whaling. And
Are those ducks kind of rough on their teeth?
I wouldn't want to chew on it.
Is it, I mean, is it
These things,
that hard? I mean,
oh, it's harder than a rock. This stuff is extremely hard. You use a bandsaw to cut it. What I do is I pay Amazon $25 and they send me a bag of slices. And they're sort of kind of polished already, and we'll do some sanding and finish off the polishing before we begin doing the scrimshaw itself. The deer antler, you just got to sand like crazy, and that's a laborious, boring, yucky part of the process, but that's the way that it is. I didn't bring it with me, but I have a patch knife for black powder. So I've got a rattlesnake curled around the handle of the blade, so it's got a bone or antler blade on for the patch knife. My son has a hunting knife that has a red-tailed hawk that's been scrimshawed onto the handle. That was pretty impressive. That was really, really interesting. So that was really good.
When you're carving, is tool powered, or are you just using?
Oh, heavens no.
Or
Oh, no, we don't use power. I made the tools. The tools are out here. They're just basically a dowel rod, a piece of metal that's been sharpened to a point, and you're just going to very slowly push your way through your lines. And then there's shading, and so there's some people that call what's stippling, so it's got a point, and you make dots. The further your dots are away, the lighter it is. The closer the dots get, the darker it gets, so you can do shadowing and shading. With straight lines, you do hash marking and things to get shadows. And we'll cover that Saturday a lot more in depth. But no, I was very high tech in my career. I was an IT guy. And so when I still use power tools for the woodworking, but my wood carving is hand tools. And so I tend to go towards the hand tool route to make it more complicated, more hard. Any other questions? Awesome. If anyone wants to look at this stuff, I'll set it out there on the arts and crafts table when we're done, so you can kind of pick it up and roll it around and look at it.
Thanks, Bill. Moby Dick is a really great book. It's one of my favorites. If you're interested in scrimshaw and where that word came from and such, read Moby Dick. The word is a back formation. Any linguists? Huh? I asked if there. Do you want on the list?
Yeah, I forgot to sign up.
Yeah, that's cool. I'll get you. I'll add you. Yeah, I didn't, but that's good to know. Anyway, Moby Dick's great. A lot about scrimshaw. Next we have Doss. He's going to show us a mini Dext RPI FM synth. I hope I got some of that.
Yep, yeah, sorry. Raspberry Pi. All right. Hello, everyone. I used to live here about 9 years ago, and I was at the old Knox location. So every year I have a conference that I go to, and I get to stop by, and it coincides with this. So I'm just glad to be over here. Last time I was here, I talked about this Mesh-tastic project, and it actually took off here in Knoxville, I saw. So I'm really happy to see that people are doing it. Mesh core is kind of what I'm doing. If anybody does reticulum, I'd love to talk to you, because that's something you do. Okay, I want to find out a little bit more about that, because that might be the third iteration of this text network. But anyway, what I wanted to show was just a little project I've been working on. This is called Mini Dext. It is a FM synthesizer for keyboard type sounds. And I didn't bring my keyboard rig or anything, but I've enrolled in School Rock, and I'm over in Murfreesboro, and basically I like building things, and I'm cheap. So I wanted to build something that would go ahead and accomplish what I wanted. And it's a well-known project. It's really easy to get into. All you need is a Raspberry Pi. I'm using a 4 version, and just 3D printed an enclosure for it. Added a DAC to it, and which I recommend if you want to have really good sound coming out of it. You definitely want to add it. Total cost into this, probably under $100, because Raspberry Pis have gone up. So that's about what you can get with it. Just use a standard LCD. And what makes it special or unique is that it has If any of you ever heard of a keyboard called the Yamaha DX7, that defined like the 80s sound. I mean, that was like every 80s Chicago, Nita Baker, you name it, they used the Yamaha DX7. They didn't even customize any of the sounds, they just used the patches. Well, they had a product that was called the Yamaha TX816, and that was a big rack module that cost $27,000 in today's money back in the day. And every major studio would have that in LA. And what that essentially was each card had a DX7. So they actually had 8 Yamaha DX7s that were put into it. And then you would program this synth and detune it and everything to get this very lush stereo sound out of it. So I can't play anything out of it right now at the moment, but I made a little sound demo, and you can, I don't know if you can hear it, but that's, you've heard this before. I mean, that's human league human. And then another, sound like, for instance, is, it's very epic, it's very bright synthesizer type sound and so on. So anyway, that's the project that I was working on. So thank you very much.
I have a question.
Yeah.
I'm a piano player. I have a MIDI thing.
Yeah.
And when I plug my MIDI in, I can't hear my keyboard.
Okay.
If I interface the MIDI and that,
Yeah.
you think there's a way for me, because I can't play
Yeah.
if I can't hear myself. I don't have to see, but I gotta hear.
So MIDI is basically, for anybody, that's the musician's protocol that was developed back in the 80s that allowed you to play a synthesizer or keyboard and activate other sound modules. And you usually have this big rack of stuff that you would do back in the day. And there's some programming that needs to be an address onto it. So they have either a 5-pin DIN connection, which was the standard, or now a lot of them use USB. So typically any keyboard by default, if you plug it in and you have a sound module, it will receive that master channel immediately into it. So it should, right off the bat, work with it.
I came here not knowing I was gonna solve that problem, and that is the solution.
Yeah, so the only thing you have to do is go on Amazon or whoever else, whatever you can find, or build it yourself, is basically a DIN to USB converter, and it's like $26. You plug it into there, plug it into this, you're ready to go.
I've already bought that.
Okay.
Now, that, and I have a Raspberry Pi, so.
Yeah, you're set to go. So you don't even really, if you want to try it out, you don't even, they have like screenless versions. Just put the firmware right onto it, and it's plug and play. It could go bare metal, I guess is what I call it, and you just use the existing port that's there, and that's it.
Well, before you leave, let's speak.
Yeah, absolutely. All right. Yes. No, it's completely separate. So there's no virtual synths or anything. This is old school hardware. Yeah, it's making the sound. So it'll take your MIDI notes and then it will create the sound out. And it's a great learning experience too, to learn how sound design works and so on like that with it. It's really cool stuff. Yeah. All right. Oh, wait. Yeah. How do you program sounds? Oh gosh. They have a program, so there is a one synthesizer version, which is a complete clone of that DX7. It's called Dext, and you actually can run that on your computer. And it's got these, what they're called operators for FM synth, and you can do all that programming graphically. Then take that and do it 8 times, and you got that for it. So you're layering 8 sounds together. Yeah.
I would also
And it's all free too and open source.
everybody to look at the software, ARDOUR.
Ardor, yeah, that's a,
Double workstation.
yeah, absolutely. And if you're looking to get into another project similar, it's Zintian is the big one I'm working on now. That blows away a lot of the synths that are out there. So it's, and it's free. So anyway.
Following that little box, we've got John Dale with BoxBot 3000.
Hello. I like
lasers, and I like making boxes with lasers. And you may have seen some of them I've made around. They kind of look like this, right, with living hinges. I generally design them manually, and I've sort of come up with some opinions on how they should be made. I like to hide the tabs and cover them. And so recently I made an Inkscape extension called BoxBot 3000, which kind of, you design a shape and then it will make a box for you. And so I've printed off a little bit here. So you can imagine you start with just a shape, like this is the shape I want to make the box. So if you imagine looking at this box from the top down, this is just a circle. And so you start with that, and then you run the extension and it asks you a bunch of questions about how you want to make it. And then it will generate something like that for you, right? Which you can then send to the laser. And then you send it to the laser and it cuts out something like that. You can see the mistake on this one. I'm missing one of the squares on the end, but in the end, it makes a box like that, right? And so this one of the options it has is to not only make the tabs, but to put holes for magnets, to put magnets in there. And so that's the way this one is, right? And then also one of the features is if you draw a shape that has some straight lines in it, it'll not do the living hinge during that and only during the curves, right? So this one you can imagine is just like a square with curved edges, right? I've listed this on the laser channel. If anyone is interested, I'll put it up there again, and you can make your own boxes. I'm hoping people will make boxes and share the pictures of them. I'll pass these around if anyone is interested. Any questions before I do? Yes?
What did you program that in?
Inkscape extension, which was in Python. Yeah, so you just open it, you install the extension, you open Inkscape, and it's in the menus at that point. So
So it was like a custom extension you made for Inkscape?
yeah,
Okay.
Just a comment, those look suspiciously three-dimensional.
it's 2D plus. Yes. Mm-hmm.
Is there a limit on how acute the angles can be on the box?
Yeah. So.
Or does the extension
Mhm.
mention that?
So there's one of the tabs as options on how the distance between so you can see this one are very close in between the lines. And so this one's actually too bendy, right? You can actually push in on the sides. And so it would work on something that's really short. And so the closest I've made is a 1-inch box. And so if you look in the laser room, I should have brought it in here, but there's a 1-inch box, round box. And so that one took, you can make pretty big, but there is a limit. Like if you were to try to do an angle that's sharp and like that, you wouldn't be able to do it. But yeah, there's a limit to it. But the closer you can put the lines, which is an option, the more bendy it is. So you can see like this one's less bendy than this one is, right? Any other questions? All right, I'll pass these around.
From laser cutting on wood to laser cutting leather, we have Zach and Erica.
Hey everyone. We are being experienced on laser cut on leather these days. So this is the first one. Not sure if anybody recognizes it's the logo from Fairy Tale. It's one of my favorite anime. It's their little logo here. So we use the crossbone. Just pretty much just copy the picture into that app. I forgot name. Meerkat? Okay, Meerkat app, and then upload to the crossbone, and then they just cut the thing. The bad side is a little bit. It has a burning smell when we do it, especially the square. it has really strong burning smell that we're afraid that it may cause a fire, but it didn't. But just be careful if you do laser cut on ladders, making sure not using too strong like numbers, otherwise we'll have like really strong burning smell.
Yeah.
Yeah. Not sure what to do with that yet, so I guess I will think about I will think about this later. I may put it on a bag or on clothes, something like that. And then the second laser cut project we did is a little charm bag that our friends, she is leaving, moving to another state for work, so it's kind of like a gift to her. We don't have the product, we don't have the piece yet, we already gave it to her. So this is a little bag charm. It's double-sided with two different kind of leather, and we laser cut on both sides, and then put a cord string on it with a little clips in. So, so after we print two pieces, usually we have to sew them together. We need to punch a hole on it. Usually the way to put two pieces together is glue the two pieces and then using this drawing tool to draw a line. And then along that line to use a hammer to punch a hole. But since we are using the laser, we can actually skipping the line part. We just laser a very thin line. It's a very thin line, laser cut down there, and then we can just punch a hole directly. Because by using the draw line tool, sometimes it's a little bit hard to make it straight. By hand, it needs to have a steady hand to make it straight. So this way, we can cheat a little bit to just have a line on there and then punch a hole directly. And then using this tool to clamp the two leather piece and then just sewing back and forth. Sewing back and forth. And after sewing together, we just cut along the line. Yeah.
And by the way, this represents the name of our friend. Her name has like the amusement park in her name, so this is represent her name, and this part is her major, environment science, I believe. So yeah, and like I got two stuff here to come here, and from experience we had, like usually the leather, the surface, if it has like high density and more smooth, it's easy to get a better result. But this one looks, yeah, a little bit burned, and yeah. So and you can adjust the power. So I adjust the power by control the speed. So usually it's better to do like multiple layers and with like faster speed to make it have like a better result. And this part, I've tried to like done it one time, so you get
It's a
kind
card
of burn.
holder though.
Yeah, yeah. This one is card holder. Yeah, and yeah, I made this because I'm from seaside city. I got a lot of like the starfish on the way or on the beach. Every day I walk by, so I just made this one as my first product for this. Yeah. Thank you.
Any questions? Yeah.
You mentioned that you used the laser to draw the line to punch the holes out.
Yeah.
Is there a reason why you didn't use the laser to cut the holes?
Yeah, because like you can do that, but we're afraid to like burn the
Yeah,
material.
we're afraid to cause a fire.
Yeah.
There's a possibility
Yeah,
to cause a
but people like, have done this and successfully. I think it's a good idea. But we are afraid because like our friend is leaving the town in few days. We are afraid to burn the material, so we're gonna do it again. Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you use, is that leather?
Yeah,
it's
leather.
all from the leather section,
Yeah.
the material.
So you have those tools here?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
And then did you use, is that a stamp? How did you get the
I just like
It's a picture from
Picture.
website, and we copy the picture into the app.
and later cut on it. Yeah,
Use the moonraker?
The
Yeah.
crossbone.
Oh, the cross.
it's a crossbow. Yeah. Yeah. This one, and by the way, this one, the surface, is kind of like not very smooth, but this one like is have higher density and smooth, so it's easier to get better result from this kind of leather. Yeah. Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
Next up, we've got Tracy, who's going to show us a pendant.
A couple weeks ago, there was a stained glass pendant class by Ashley and Brooke, and it was really fun. I think they're going to do it again. We started out with they had a kit ready, so you just had to like do the stained glass part, and then they let you go crazy and design your own piece. I don't have the kit pendant or the kit earrings because I don't wear dangly earrings, so they already have been mailed to someone else. But the pendant, I wanted to probably do a little bit too complicated, but I did it anyway, and it turned out okay, I think. So we learned how to cut the glass and grind it down, and I didn't grind my fingers, and assemble it. So it was really fun. It was a good class, and I hope they do it again. And now I'm not afraid of the stained glass material stuff. So.
Did you cut yourself?
I did not cut myself. No injuries. That's it.
Does it even count if you don't cut yourself?
Oh, I forgot to say there's like sharp edges because I'm not good at this. And it's nice to just like fuss with. It's a good fiddle toy.
Cool.
Sharp edges.
All right, we got Fobs coming up next to talk about Meshtastic.
Maybe not, if that other gentleman said he taught you about Meshtastic. Hey, so I guess y'all already know about Meshtastic. Does anyone not know what Meshtastic is? Does anyone have a Meshtastic node with them besides the gentleman who was building the synth? Okay, cool. Oh, sorry.
7 of them, but I left them all at home. I had to bring them this week, and it's the week to bring it.
I'm Fobs. Hey, I'm not a member. I don't know how to zoom out. I'll try. This is a standalone Meshtastic node that I built that has a built-in keyboard, so you don't even have to use your phone. Meshtastic is a very quick primer, an offline texting network that's DIY. So every node you build meshes with the other nodes around you, and you don't need internet, and you don't need GSM, you don't need cell phone data, and you don't need anything else. So I built a bunch of solar nodes around Knoxville, and I live in Powell. So if anyone wants to help me connect Powell to West Knox, that'd be great. So if you have a roof between Powell and West Knox, I will put a solar node up on your roof. It runs indefinitely. I have one on the top of a building that's been running for over a year with no downtime. It was a $20 build using a solar lamp, like a cheap one from a hardware store, like a little LED solar light, and then I put a Meshtastic hardware inside it and soldered it together. I mean, I am a hardware person, so hardware is my fun jam. This is like a little 3D printed case that a friend helped me 3D print. It's cool because it has a dedicated power on and off button that I put in there. It's got a battery. You can see it says Meshtastic on it. This one's got a full keyboard. You can't really tell, but it's like a rubbery keyboard, but it's on top of a really cheap keyboard off of DigiKey that you can solder into your Meshtastic node. So if you wanted to make like your own little wooden case on your laser cutter and make a little square with rounded corners case, you could. Bespoke. Knoxville is very covered in Meshtastic. I often ping like 15 to 16 miles with this add-on antenna. So you can, I'm also a ham radio operator. I'm K7FP, Kilo 7 Foxtrot Papa, if any of you are hams. I don't run this as a ham, you can. So this, you can run even more powerful if you're a ham, but you don't have to be a ham radio operator to use Meshtastic, and you can use all the ham nodes, so you can get all the power from the ham people, even though you're not a ham yet, but it's really fun to be a ham. Any questions?
I have a question. Can you explain what the Meshtastic is again? 'Cause
Yeah.
That sounds really interesting. It went like over my head.
Here, I'm gonna type a little message.
Okay.
I just typed hi. I don't know if you can read it, it's not in focus.
Yeah.
And then I hit enter. And it's sending it.
Scroll it to you, the gray thing, scroll it,
This one?
scroll it to you. Zoom in, there you go, keep going.
Are there channels in
What is it doing?
It's sending messages to everybody else who has Meshtastic, who's using Longfast, which is like the standard Meshtastic protocol. Like if you're going to throw a big event like Burning Man or your parking lot party here where you sell a bunch of stuff, you could have a bunch of people using Meshtastic, and you could use like shorter throw ones so that everybody could be messaging each other during it. It's like an offline, off-grid, completely autonomous texting network. And it's open source. Yeah. Yeah.
And oh, that reminds me of Jackson, that movie, Jumpin' Jack 5 or something. Where she's like on the computer and she gets like a random message.
Yeah. Jumping Jack Flash, yeah, it's a gas. So there's, you can see I'm on Longfast. I'm not using GPS, but you could. And then this tells me like my power that's left. This build is called a Hell Text. So if you like Google Hell Text 3D printed, blah, 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 you could build this one like I did. These are all people around us and messages. I meant node to node.
That's what I meant.
Yeah. So you can also use it if you don't want to use like a fully keyboard one like I have here. This is like a little, and it charges over USB-C. You could also just have like a small one like the gentleman earlier. I forgot your name, sorry. DOS. DOS was showing he has a little one that I'm guessing he Bluetooths into it from his phone. And then from his phone, he has an app and he can text the messages on his app. But I like this one because then you don't even have to have your phone with you. Any questions? Yeah, it hops. It hops. So the standard hops is 7 hops. I have mine set to 7. I don't know if that's standard. Maybe it's 5. So I regularly hop to North Carolina from Knoxville. But I'm up on a hill, so. It's anybody around you who's running them. I have a bunch of people in my neighborhood who run them, partially because I give them to my neighbors. But it's only text. So there's no voice, there's no images, it's text only, so it's very low bandwidth, and it's using LoRa, so which is low power, long range radio protocol underneath. But you don't have to program LoRa to understand how it works. Meshtastic just transparencies that away from you.
I have a question. If you're using it, getting the text like on your phone, do you have to have a plan or do you
No.
connect to the internet?
No, you don't have to be connected to the internet, and most Meshtastic people don't back connect to the internet at all, ever. So they just do local community texting. Yeah.
Is there any individual addressing or is it all broadcast?
It's there's private channels, so you can do encrypted private channels with your friends. But this broadcast channel is the one I was sending to and that I was getting from DOS, is the general broadcast channel. And then people do it at like music festivals or big things where like your cell service is really bad because there's so many people and so little packets. So people bring these along and then they can text each other.
At least some of the people in this area think of it as an emergency communications method.
Yeah.
Should we have something that knocked out all of our power?
Yeah. That's why I build solar nodes too, so it's not,
Very low power.
yeah, also I just stick them in trees. Sorry. I mean, obviously in the winter it works better with the solar, but. Yes.
You said something about build or bill. I didn't know whether you said B-U-I-L-D.
Oh, build. Yeah, build. If you would like to build this yourself, it's called. No, this one's more than $20. This is Hell Text. I think I have $35 into this particular device. So it's got both a Hell Tech. The Meshtastic node underneath here is called a Hell Tech, and then I've got a keyboard from DigiKey, and then I've got some wiring I put in there, and a battery, and a switch, and then the 3D printed parts and the antenna. And probably about $35 on this one.
One more question and then we're going to.
Sorry.
Clearly a lot of interest here. So,
Happy to talk Meshtastic after this.
one more in the back. Sorry. Go ahead.
Are there protections built into the protocol to stop bad actors from flooding the network with spam messages?
Currently not, but most people seem to be really friendly, at least in Knoxville, and it's very popular in Knoxville, which is really fun. I've tried it also in Nashville and DC and like other places I've been. In an urban area, long fast doesn't really work very well because of the buildings. But in our area, it works great, especially with all our hills.
Thank you. Thanks, Fobs. That was clearly of great interest. No, it's great. Well, this is a night for it. So heads up, if you're interested in this, we have a Meshtastic channel on Mattermost, our chat server. And it sounds like there's maybe interest in a deeper dive into this. So if you come back, know about the channel, and then maybe a longer talk one evening if your game would be worthwhile. Thanks. Next up, we've got Rex, who's going to show us a shelf built with scrap wood.
Hi, I made a shelf after I took the classes. If you are a member here and you want to use the woodworking area, you have to get signed off on them first. Don't just go over there and start making stuff. You'll chop off your arm. So we have over there like spare wood that you can it's just laying around and you can do whatever you want with it. So this is a gorgeous piece of wood that I think his name is Brian. Is your name Brian? What's your name? That Bill brought in. So this is a beautiful piece. Oh gosh. Okay, it's not even there. Focus. There we go. So this is a really beautiful piece of wood that Bill brought in. And it has some really beautiful design, just natural design to it. And there was a natural straightness to one side, and I was like, that would make the perfect shelf. So it's a pretty long piece. It's like, I don't know, 2 feet maybe. And then I was like, oh, that would be the perfect shelf. So I turned it into a shelf after I took all these classes and like got signed off. I used the miter saw, I used the planer saw, and I used the rotor table. Larry helped me. Sean taught me 101. Thank you, Sean, for teaching me 101. Thank you, Sean, for teaching me bandsaw. And 102, 102 is wood turning. I took wood turning, but I didn't apply the wood turning. Larry helped me with the miter saw. Like the first time I used the miter saw, I felt like I needed somebody hold my hand. And then Bill helped teach me how to use the rotor table. And like when you use the rotor table, you have to, it's free, or the rotor, like handheld rotors, you have to always use them in like one direction or you can break them. So I really needed somebody to show me like the right direction to use that, and because it was broken before. So anyway, the reason I'm telling you about the rotor saw, the table saw, is that the way I hang this up is, see this? This is made with a rotor saw. It's with a bit called a keyhole bit. And it's just a really easy way to hang a shelf. So I made one of those on each side, and it doesn't cost any extra money to like do that. So I made this beautiful shelf but I have a story to tell you because I had a plan for this shelf and I left. Oh, here's my phone. I had a special plan for this shelf and I want to show you what I did. So I just moved into my apartment. I'm having so much fun decorating it. And I saw this poster of this Geiger, and I love like Aliens. Come on, best movie ever. Sigourney Weaver. Oh my God. Oh my gosh, best series, like best series ever of movie, like by alien designed by a crazed Russian man. I mean, our amazing artist. So anyway, I saw this poster and I was like, I want to make like a shelf to show off my Aliens collection. So we have the poster in the background. Oops, that's my passport. So here you have, I ordered this microwave online and it was only $15. And I was like, wow, Japanese people are making microwaves really small now. And I said, and then I like ordered the microwave and it came in the mail and I was like, this isn't a microwave, this is like for a dollhouse, what the heck? Anyway, so this Geiger alien is waiting by the microwave and he's like, where's my food? I'm so hungry. And oops. And this one's like, I'm getting it. It's ready. I'm getting the food. Shut your mouth, man. Shut your pie hole. And these guys are just like patiently waiting. The queen and the snail, they're like, we're just being patient. We're just waiting for the food. We're not going to be a-holes about it. And then you have this sneaky alien who's coming out to get the tattletale, the vintage tattletale My Little Pony. So anyway, that's the story of my aliens, and I hope you enjoyed. Do you have any questions about my shelf or anything? Any questions? Any toy collectors out there? Thank you. And thanks again for everybody that helped me so much with the woodworking and people that helped me, and I really appreciate that. Thank you.
Amy, it is your turn. I don't know what you're presenting. Come on down.
Hi everyone. I will try not to like take forever since this is actually just an update. I'm just gonna dump this all out so I can access them. So a few weeks ago, I showed off that I made. Oh, that's weirdly blue. Weird. Anyway, I showed off that I made these little animals for my brother's hypothetical future child. And he said that they wanted farm animals, and I figured I would update you guys because I wasn't done yet. So at the time, I hadn't added a mane to the horse or a tail. I was going to use real horsehair because I thought it'd be cool to use real horsehair for the horse. The horsehair was too stiff. When I tried to like tie knots and like attach it, it looked weird. Technically, it was possible. The tail stuck like right out like that, which is not the vibe. So I just used wool. It's just yarn, which I think turned out pretty well. Someone recommended to me that I could needle felt hooves onto the horse because some of the other stuff is needle felted anyway, so I knew how to do that already. Anyway, the only real like fully new thing is that I sewed a little pig. I had meant to use like leather or something because I was looking for different textures, and I procrastinated because I couldn't figure out how to make a good pig pattern and what to use. This is the only thing where I used a pattern. I just downsized it by like 60%. I just won't tell them that I cheated and downloaded a pattern instead of drafting one myself. But yeah, that's all the animals. I just have to assemble it into a mobile, and that's it. Questions? Oh, and the fabric was from, I found like a squishmallow or some stuffed animal at a thrift store for $1. So I just bought it and I tore it apart and now it's a pig.
Thanks, Amy. Closing us out tonight is Carteret with our hardwood floor refinish. There you are.
There's not a whole lot to describe other than just a whole bunch of pulling out staples and sanding with a belt sander. This is how it looked before I did anything with it. And over the course of 2 weeks of putting in like 4 to 6 hours per evening, because I didn't have the full-size tools that you would usually use, you know. Just had a little belt sander rather than the type of floor sander that you can rent if you want to do a bigger project. It's a pretty small room. And finally finished it up. And there it is. And I'm really happy with it because this floor used to have a carpet over it, and so it had all kinds of tacks, nails, everything in it that had rusted and create these beautiful discoloration patterns in the floor. So then now that it's all shined up, it looks, to me, it looks more beautiful in a certain way than a new hardwood floor would. I used shellac. Yeah. David, is it okay if I share a clip from the other day picking at that solar? Is that fine? Okay. So Jay, who's a new member here and who is my housemate, has a van that has solar on it that had some issues. So David had invited us to take it over and take a minute with it to do some problem solving. And I got to learn some too. There would be sound, but it's disjointed. And David also has somebody that runs a food pantry out of his building, and so we got sent off with a turkey. Come on now. Anyway, so today I made it. Yeah, today I cooked the turkey. So I wanted to share that with David, and then got to share it with some people. That's it. I know that part was a little off topic, but it's just part of my day. And thank you. Oh yeah, I didn't think to ask if anyone's got questions about the floor, but I think you already have.
Big theme tonight is makers helping makers. I really like that. Saw that in a few of these. So I'll try to be pretty quick with announcements. First, events tonight. In 5 or 10 minutes after we vacate this room, Thea is going to lead a fantastic fabric flower craft in here. Come do that. I think we're going to set up some tables, give us 5 or 10 minutes, and then come back in and do a cool flower craft. March 7th, which is Saturday, I think. We got a bunch of classes. There's a bunch going on. Bill's Scrimshaw etching at 9:30 a.m. Do that. It's really cool. Ray is going to teach cooperative multitasking in microcontrollers. I don't know what that is, but it's happening at 11 a.m. Oh, it's bad. It's on the calendar for this weekend. So I don't know. Yeah, check the calendar. If you're interested in that, check the calendar. See if there are tickets available. Bill, again, is going to teach a Bluebird house build at 1 p.m. Saturday. And then there's going to be a Quilty Pleasures event at 1 p.m., which is a quilting social. So come hang out for that in Fiber Arts. March 10th, we've got a new members onboarding. Any new folks? I know you're new. If you're interested in joining up, well, first, just come hang out with us on Tuesdays, all you want. But if you decide to join, you'll need to come to a new members onboarding where you learn about our culture and what we're here for, and just kind of how we roll. And for me, it's a good time. It's an interesting thing. So you'll have to do that in your first month or so. Come do it if you want to join up. That is March 10th after, or probably at, I think that's a Thursday, on probably at 7. No, that's a Tuesday. That's a Tuesday, so it'll be right after show and share. March 12th, we've got a kill switch build and fight class with, I believe, 1 ticket left. And March 18th, there's a pen turning class at 6:30 p.m. So that's all the events. There are more, but those are the ones that had tickets available. And last up, anybody know what ACH means in the finance world? It means give me your bank account and let me extract money directly from your bank account. No?
No, go ahead. Keep going.
Okay.
I just tuned out for a moment, and then you were asking for people's bank account information.
No, I didn't ask for it for myself. That's how, I mean, if you want to give me your bank account info, I'm here. I'll be here, all night. But it's a way for you to transfer money directly to Knox Makers without our having to pay like credit card fees. So it saves us some money that lets us do more things for the shop. So you can set up your dues or donations or anything else using ACH. And it helps us. So if you're giving us money anyway, consider giving it to us in a way that costs us no money. You can go to ach.knoxmakers.org to do that. Please do. Thanks. Have a good night. Go out into the shop, hang out, socialize, be merry.